doing this podcast. I'm so happy that we started it.
Yep.
But man, you sure find out about people. You know what I'm saying? It's some people I've never talked to before that I talk to now.
Yeah.
You know, that they recognize the podcast and they give positive input. Then I have some people that I've been friends with and talked to forever that I don't talk to no more. And I'm trying to figure out, like, is it me or is it them? Welcome to the Wildcat Show, brought to you by the Bennett Automotive Group. Hi, I'm Calvin Wilson, and I'm here with Coach Travis Roland of the Camden County Wildcats. Well, we come to the end of the road as far as playoffs. North Cobb. Let's talk about North Cobb and the North Cobb game, Coach. Yep. Defensively, I think we played well. The first about 3-4 possessions, we played really well on defense. Talk to me about the defense and the adjustments that were made.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people asked, what made us take, because we have been taking the ball, receiving the ball if we wanted to toss, try to get the offense going, and we felt like this week we had a good plan together with what we came up with to get some stops. We utilized the bye week to create a plan. I think we did a good job executing that plan, and so we wanted to keep the ball off, and I think we created our own momentum too by getting some stops. Elias went out there and made some big time plays on every series. In the first quarter and a half, he was a big viable option for us. Kind of one of the first times all year we had a guy go out there and kind of create his own, and then I think that was something big that he did for us. I thought we were physical as heck with him, because we knew they wanted to come out and run the football. Even when you look at the final numbers of the game, we did really good. But I just thought the kids played with great execution in those that first quarter and a half, basically. Because I think the first touchdown wasn't scored until it was like 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. So the kids came out and played well with that part of it, man. I think we did a good job being physical with them and creating our own momentum. I think they just ended up they made a couple plays, but they did a good job with some adjustments. Coach Thompson saw some things when we first got the film that we felt like was going to work, and it worked, honestly, to a T. Because like you say, 7 minutes to go is 7-0. We get the ball back. We're going to get the ball at half. So we felt like we were in a good position, just being down only 7-0 in that game with a team that was averaging 49 points and running for 266 and all those kind of things. We feel like we're in a good spot after them first 3 or 4 drives there.
Yeah, I think we did. I mean, the defense came out with energy. Yep. The offense, go to the offensive side of the ball. The offense kind of, in the first couple of drives, kind of shot itself in the foot a little bit, but they ended up with, like, what was the number?
I believe it was 392 we had on offense. Their 292 is what I believe scored line put out. I think, but it's like you say, both, if you go read the pregame stuff, both coaches, myself and their head coach, both felt like third down, and then more importantly, first down was going to be, winning first down was going to be a big deal. You talk about us taking 4 trips to the red zone, only scoring once. A lot of that had to do with, after we got a first down, now we're moving and got some momentum, and we go false start, procedure on a skilled player, and now instead of it being 1st and 10, it's 1st and 15. Well, you and I both know 1st and 15 might as well be 2nd and 13. Because now, right, if you throw it and don't get no yards, it's 3rd and 30, essentially. And if you run it and get 1 yard, it's like having third down back-to-back. And so those were places where we hurt ourselves. And I think in total, when we looked at the pre-snap penalties, I believe we had 7 of them in total. So we had 11 total in the game. We had 5 false starts, 2 holdings. That takes us to 7. We had 2 face masks, and then we had the one late over there on their sideline where it was after the play or whatever. And so all of those penalties ended up being key, because you're thinking right before half, we threw the pick with 4 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go.
Then we could have got the ball back.
We chance to get the ball back, or even
that
just
middle
stopping
8.
them.
We was talking about. I was on the sideline like, oh man, we get 7. We get 7 right. We get the ball back. We've been stopping them. We get the ball back.
Now you're talking them being in a dogfight, and so but like you say, we aid and abet them down the field. Right there before halftime, where we give them 30 yards worth of penalties, and then they score. And then, with like a minute to go, so we go into half, cool, whatever. We're gonna come out. We get the ball kicked off to us. We drop the ball, give them the ball on the 20-yard line, and now you're talking about kind of undoing a little bit of belief leaving because of a situation like that. Because you're going to halftime, you talk good about we're gonna go out, offense been moving the ball, we're gonna go down the field and score. We're gonna get another stop.
That was right after halftime.
Yeah, it was right. We're gonna get the ball. And so that's where things just didn't. Those execution pieces come, and again, the person that drops it, that's one of our most sure-handed guys. He returned a punt for a touchdown this year.
You remember we talked about this? You talked about this. I think it was maybe the first or second week when he dropped it in that other game, right? And we laughed about it.
Yeah.
This time, he cried about it because he was so hurt.
So hurt. Yeah,
he was so hurt because is he a senior?
Yeah, he's a senior.
He's a senior. He'll always remember that. But I mean, you have to erase that with some of the good that happened also.
Yep.
Like you said, he had a pick six during the year. Our rushing totals that night was what?
264, I believe it was. 264 yards we rushed for. Throughout the game, and again, and that's why when you talk to people after the game, and you're gonna always have questions of hey, how why we couldn't get zero the ball. Well, it's the reason why we rushed for that many yards, because they're gonna take away certain things. Sean went off 7 for 84 and a touchdown, and then Hardy 24 for 160 something, I believe. You're gonna get a light box when zero's out there, and so we have to take advantage of what they were giving to us, and I think we did a good job of that. Like we said, when you go 1 or 4 in the red zone, that's where you have the effects, and again, if you break it down into that small little category, they were 4 for 4 in the red zone, and we were 1 for 4. And when you technically break it down, that's the exact equivalent. I think the pass play might have been a little further than 20 out, but it was still right there. You might as well say green zone if you want to call it that.
Right.
They were right there. So I think, but just the O-line played well. And again, even though they had the 2 Power 5 guys up front, we were still schematically able to do enough to run the football very effectively to make our offense a formidable foe for them. You know what I mean? And so that's why I think, that was a positive in the game. You just got to be able to finish the drives when you have the opportunities, because we don't finish drives, you ultimately don't win.
Well, I think we earned our penalties. I think we did. I mean, I'm not denying our penalties, but man, it was some holding calls that were left out there on the other side. There was some major. I'm just saying, some major holding calls that was noticeable that wasn't called, and that kind of hurts your morale too. And I think our guys got to learn how to make sure they see that they're holding you, not stay attached, but try to get unattached.
Right.
But so how much you said, Sean Hart? I mean,
Sean Green, 7 for 84. Yep, almost got him 100 yards.
And Hardy?
Hardy was 24 carries for 164.
Well, we're going to go with Hardy as the player of the game, brought to you by Jane Brown, your local State Farm agent here in Kingston, Georgia. Yeah, Hardy, man, he's all year, he's played with heart.
Yeah.
He played with heart. I've seen the cat try to jump over the top of people. He tried to do the Saquon Barkley, but it ain't worked for him.
Coach, he tried to pull off a double spin one time in the hole too, man. Like that kid, he showed, I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm trying to get somewhere for the team, but I'm also trying to get somewhere for myself and get myself to college. And I think he ran. That's what you want to see, because if he's running that hard, everybody's successful. And I mean, he did a great job. Again, I say, like, for a kid to have the frame he's got, where he's not a heavy guy, he ran his rump off inside in between the tackles. So Hardy had an amazing football season this year.
Yeah, so Hardy's our player of the week. We're going to talk about, I think we're going to just go ahead and kind of recap the season, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but we ain't going to go the good, the bad, and we're going to go another in another way, because I want the good to be the end.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what, man, doing this podcast, I'm so happy that we started it.
Yep.
But man, you sure find out about people. You know what I'm saying? It's some people I've never talked to before that I talk to now.
Yeah.
That they recognize the podcast and they give positive input. Then I have some people that I've been friends with and talked to forever that I don't talk to no more. And I'm trying to figure out, like, is it me? or is it them? And it could be a combination because, like I told y'all before, I really, I really don't care. But it shows me that everybody who says they support, sometimes, you know, when things don't go their way or things don't go our way, you don't see that same support. And you know, and for those people that don't, oh well, you know what I'm saying? Because this is gonna roll on for a while. Let's go to this. Let's go to this kind of bad for me. The bad and the ugly for me is penalties, fumbles, loss of confidence. What's the fix? What do you think the fix is?
The fix with penalties is it starts in practice, man. You got to be penalized for everything, and I think that's something that, you know, when we showed up on Monday, you know, we had a meeting with everybody, and then we sent the underclassmen back to the weight room, and we met with the seniors, but we told the underclassmen, like, you know, I'm not sure of why they, you know, some may have thought rolling in at certain times were okay, but we like everything gonna be punished. You know, if it's class late, if it's, you know, short to school late, if it's, you know, false starting and conditioning, whatever it may be, everything's got to have a penalty because you have to get into that mindset before Friday. Like you and I both know, it's no different. You come in here prepared with notes, right? You're not coming in here and fixing this right now when it's game time. This is game time.
Right.
That you're prepared days in advance.
Now we can draw it up in the same.
Yeah, we can draw it up in the same if we have to.
Yeah, we got to draw it up.
That's an adjustment.
Yeah. Yes.
But when you start base stuff, that's not what you're doing. And pre-snap stuff, like I always say, there's effort penalties, right? There's, oh my God, I let me grab him because I hit him out of bounds. They were right there at the edge, or oh my goodness, I'm trying to not let my quarterback get killed, so I hold.
Right.
That, you know, I'm beat for a pass interference. But pre-snap stuff, that's my discipline, and that's where coaches' only way to fix that is to say in practice, you false start, it's a penalty. You know, and a penalty in the sense of you see the ball move, but there's also a after practice penalty for that, because that's the only way to prepare them for the game, because it's way more detrimental in the game, you know, when you get that penalty, because it hurts you. And so we have to create discipline in everything we do, even if it's something as simple as like, we're going to make you tuck in your shirt in the weight room, right? Like that could be something we want to do. That's just a way to say, are you disciplined enough to do it and not go away from it? So just got to work on those little small things, because those small things cost you football games. And then, you know, fumbling or interceptions, that's decision making, and that's going to be a same thing. You have to put us in situations in the offseason where I have to think and perform when I'm fatigued, because most of the time, tired. Fumbles or interceptions or busted coverages or whatever, it could be anything, right?
Injuries.
The injuries, they happen when you're tired.
Fatigue.
And so we got to do a good job of making everybody, coaches, players, everybody be able to perform in those fatigued and challenging situations, so that when you're in a game and you're fighting for extra yards, you understand I got to double cover. I gotta you know, rely on my technique that I've been taught to not have those things happen to me. Because I told a kid today, I said, you know, at the end of the day, penalties are discipline. And that's the place. That's why I called the timeout after that last one and got everybody around me. And I said, listen, we will not have another one. I say, the next person get another one, your family going to see you get escorted to that locker room. I said, because one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to embarrass Camden County in a football game. I said, I don't care if the team talking trash. I don't care if you feel like the ref is not keeping them from talking trash or being dirty with you. What you're not going to do is you're not going to get a flag and make this program and this community look a certain way. So that's just a part of growing and understanding, you know, what the standard is.
It's one thing that's a pet peeve of mine, and I'm just going to bring it to you right. In practice, the sideline. I just think that our sidelines wasn't paying attention the way they were supposed to pay attention. Now, that's not only on the kids. Sometimes that's on the coaches too, because these kids need to understand, like, all this is important. You know what I'm saying? And it carries over into to a game. Once you, man, what turns me on is to watch a team in pregame where coaches don't have to do anything but blow whistles, say point, and these, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Where it all runs at one because the team is running. And I think it's coming to that point. I mean, you only been here, like you say, 9-10 months, maybe at that. and I don't even think it's been that long, but to get this thing together. But I just think once you start seeing that unity, it'll start bringing down some of those penalties and stuff like that too. Because I think that's a big issue with the people that I hear from is like, we're not disciplined. I don't know if we're not disciplined. We're just making these mistakes, and then when I look at it, maybe we're not disciplined. You know what I'm saying? As a whole,
you have to call a spade a spade. Anytime you get penalties, it's just not good football. And you have to move. You have to get better and learn from the penalties
because it did cost us.
Yes,
it did cost us.
Yes.
It did cost
coach,
us.
Like I say, 30 yards worth of a touchdown drive came from face mask. Now again, are they trying to make a tackle? Yeah, but like, come on, man. You can't grab his face mask, but that's not something. You come to practice. We're not saying, hey, when you go out there and tackle him, exactly. You grab him by the face mask. But it's a thing of where we have to be smart in the situation. I can't make that play, so I can't reach out. There's like the old Bill Belichick thing. Like everybody wants to see guys reach for the pylon. Bill Belichick find guys reach for the pylon because he felt like you were gonna fumble at some point, and you see times where guys reach for it and it ended up costing them. So it's one of those things where you have to be smart about it. But I think that the ones that frustrate you the most as a coach, and it's like the pre-snap ones are the ones that get you. Honestly, I can live with somebody trying to make a tackle and their hand get high.
Right.
The pre-snap ones drive you up a wall because it's like we had one we false started on a no play. Like it was we're gonna go scan tip or go and look to the sideline.
And we
false started on one of those. And so it's like it's week 14, I think 13, 14. Like when you do that, that's where it grinds your gears as a fan. It grinds your gears as a coach. It grinds your gears as anybody that cares about your particular team. So it is frustrating because we all wear the frustration when it's like that. Because like, man, come on, we know good and well what's going on right here. Like, slow yourself down, slow your process down, and just be ready to go. And that's why I say the pre-snap ones are the ones that drive you up a wall. With those, like the personal foul late. I couldn't even see I went back to watch TV copy as soon as the game was over. They didn't even have it. The announcer guys couldn't figure out actually what happened over there. With the jaw went back and forth, and I still just called time. I was like, guys, I'm tired of I'm gonna see in the locker room. Like at this point, and everybody gonna know why you go in the locker room because as soon as you get it, I'm gonna get coach to get you, and he gonna walk you over there because we're just not tolerating any more of the foolishness. Because it's just ridiculous.
I got a question, Coach. You have end of the year evals
as
far as coaches, players, everybody.
Yeah, we'll meet with
even the seniors.
Yeah. We'll meet. So the biggest thing with the seniors right now, what we got to do is I ask them what's too far. If they want to play football, they want to continue because we have to grind. Obviously, Elias and the other guys have their opportunities. But we have to grind hard for it because like I know how difficult it is in this generation, this age of football with the portal. It's a log jam. So you have to really work to get the kids in school. So we meet with the seniors, ask them, to tell us where they want to go, where they see themselves, and we come to a common ground and figure out what's the best fit. And then with the underclassmen, it's about good, bad, ugly. What you're good at, what you may need to work on, and where we want to see you improve and where you fit moving forward, especially coming back in January when we come back from Christmas break. And then same thing with the coaches. We sit and we have an evaluation period. We met yesterday as an e-board, myself, Coach Alford, Coach Hobbs, assistant head coach, and Coach Thompson. We met, for a few hours yesterday to kind of talk some things out and figure out what's the next steps for the program and where we need to go. What we got to get better, what we want to keep, what we like, and so you have to evaluate the whole thing, and to see what you got to do well.
Okay, let's get to the good. I want to get to the good. I mean, like the players coming back. I mean, the ninth grade, the middle school, those cats. I mean, what it look like coming down the pipeline?
I mean, shoot, both teams made it to the playoffs this past season. From a middle school perspective, St. Mary's won a playoff game, made it to the semifinals, which is the first time in I think a while they won a playoff game. Shout out to Coach Tucker for doing his thing over there. And then obviously Coach Marks and those guys at Camden Middle won the championship. Those kids only gave up 20 points all year long. So they played insane football this year. And I think they averaged about 35 or 40 on the year. And there's some very physical, rough playing children that played middle school football for us this year that I got excited about watching every time I got to watch them. They play a very exciting brand of football that I think a lot of people will like. Like they're like you talk about just needing to point and blow a whistle. Those children don't need no prodding to go and be physical. You almost got to pull them back a little bit with how well they play.
Right.
And then obviously I think up here, the freshmen have some very bright spots. I think Mr. Albert is going to be a good football player for us. One of those kids that played O-line, D-line, and he played some tight end.
Coach, they say he can throw the ball.
But he can do everything he want to
throw it.
There's nothing on the football field that kid cannot do.
Yeah.
He's an amazing athlete that I think is going to do a really good job. I think Lil Demi is a great football player in his own right. He's going to do a good job. So there's some talent out here on this. And Lil Whitley, man, tell you what, Lil Whitley played quarterback and played some DB. Dane Whitley's little younger brother, he's going to be a good, phenomenal football player as well. That's coming up from that freshman team, and then obviously coming back with older guys. Antoine Williams comes back, Judalen comes back, Parks is back. Obviously David Coleman, Mr. Everything. Who he gonna have to lead. He gonna lead some games. On the stretch of tongue, hanging out.
That's what we gotta do.
Having to play all game, but guys like Kingston Melton, Will Smith, Xavier Brown come back. Will Johnson. I almost called that boy Boofy. I'm used to Coach Green saying it all the time.
I love Boofy.
All those guys will be back. So we got a good nucleus back, and then we'll get some guys off of freshmen in our JV program that'll do some good things for us. I'm excited about Starnes and Mr. James Campbell. I think both those guys are going to have some bright futures. 263, 275, 80-pound plus kids going to give us some girth coming back. Big. They're already 400-plus pound squatters in 10th grade, so they've got big frames for us to build on.
Yeah, and now I want to get to the last thing that I want to talk about is, I just think that you hear all kind of stuff, you hear all kind of negativity, but then when I look on Instagram or whatever, man, these seniors are crying their hearts out about their whole journey with all the coaches, not just this coaching staff, but with the coaching staff that was before. Yep. And all I hear is good. Man, listen, James,
Jimmy K.
Listen,
yes, sir.
James Kirkland.
Yep.
In elementary school was James Kirkland, but this kid has showed the maturity.
Yes.
And did you read what it?
I read the whole thing, Coach. He's the one kid I tell everybody, outside of maybe a couple of schools in our region, Jimmy K could have started at quarterback at other schools in our region. That's no slight to those kids, but you've been at practice, you've seen Jimmy K throw the football. Jimmy K is a phenomenal quarterback, and I have so much respect for him because in today's world, being a backup is not what anybody wants to do. And I think that kid, man, he wrote it so eloquently. He might need to save that thing for some of them college essays.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Because he did a phenomenal job in writing that. I think, he paid, he talked about accepting the role. He talked about how he almost was going to quit. How Coach Alford coming here saved him and got him wanting to play again. He said thanks to his guys from the previous staff, and just talked about all parts of it. He and I have a unique relationship because, he and I had scout team type meetings where he knew how we wanted him to play so that it replicated what we were going to see. And he fulfilled that role to a T, man, and did a phenomenal job for us. I'm so proud of him. For what he did. And like you say, the love those kids were showing. That's why I just kept hitting share, because I wanted people to see, in just a little bit of time, the amount of love that we created in this program with these kids, because it was a hard journey, man, when you talk about having to show yourself approved, because when you got kids like these, you're going to have to show now that you know what you're doing.
No doubt.
From every position coach and every coordinator and me as the head coach, these kids will hold you accountable to do what you're supposed to do. And so for them to have that kind of outpouring lets us know that, we got it moving in the right direction, because all of them, from, like I said, from Dane to Jimmy to AD to Turner to Zach Taylor, to all those kids, man, to Chill, all those kids did a great job in expressing their gratitude to Camden County to their coaches that they've had in all 4 years, and just to the program. So excited that they did it.
Yeah, it was no negativity. I thought that, I would hear somebody, but man, it was so good to hear that those kids have took on a responsibility as seniors to kind of lead this program. Man, sometimes, let me tell you something, sometimes in trailblazing, it don't look good. It don't look good. You cutting the bushes, you getting all that just to get the path, to get the people through the path. And sometimes you got to take an axe and cut down a tree because they ain't always just bushes. It's trees there, too. Absolutely. And so, I think these kids cut the trees, cut the bushes, and I think this program is headed in the right way. Now, that's just my thoughts. I got other people that listen and may have a whole different outlook on it. But as long as I'm here, whoever's the coach, I'm going to support. But I believe in you, coach. I believe in you and your staff. I believe in your evaluations. Nobody's going to be perfect in what they're doing. But if you don't, I tell you what, you better not come out here and do the same thing next year. What I'm saying is, in philosophy or whatever, as far as, making them same mistakes, nobody does that in coaching, I don't think. And so with that, we all grow together. We grow as a program.
You're exactly correct, because when you make the same mistakes, that like they say, repeat the same, that's insanity, right? So obviously we don't want to be insane. You evaluate top to bottom. You don't just evaluate bottom to halfway up or top to halfway down. You go through and through, top to bottom. And that's in any business. That's in any organization. You do it that way. So you have to evaluate yourself. You have to evaluate the people up under you. You evaluate the people that are like your players. So every part of the program, year by year, gets evaluated, and you have to do that. You have to continue to grind and get better.
And man, like I told you before, I can't wait until you get the off season, because the off season is the most important, because you get to know the community, you get to know who can help and who wants to help.
Right.
Because in building a program, it's not all about what's inside. It's what's inside. But when that off season hits, it got to be people outside running and got their feet on the ground and churning for these kids also.
Absolutely.
And so we'll see who comes out and supports this program throughout this off season, throughout spring, and then the start of next year. I think that's all I got for you, Coach, unless you got something.
Nope. Looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a good grind we're about to get into, and like you say, build this thing up and come out and be better and put our best foot forward every single day. That's what's going to happen. Looking forward to just, like you say, getting in the community to see the people that these kids go home to every day. That's who I want to meet and see, because now the time is allotted to be able to do that and be able to know who they are, how they made up, and why they're made up the way they are. So looking forward to that part of it, man. So I'll be seeing y'all in the basketball gyms. My son finna play some basketball, so it's gonna be the funniest thing ever. But looking forward to getting this thing going and rolling and pushing this ball up the hill to get where we're trying to get to.
Hey man, I'd like to thank everybody that's watching and have watched and have supported and have just looked in to see what's going on. Thank y'all for making this it's not a full year, but thank y'all for making this podcast what it is. Thank you guys.
Back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I get let up. Begging, I taught to me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. Yeah. They getting nervous, I seen it. What I seen you wouldn't believe